Hey there, Kipsters. We're looking at objectives 4.4 through 5. It's about box and whisker plots and measures of variation. This is our last video for the MathsCast series before the CST. So to start, we're going to look at measures of variation, which means when we talk about data, we want to have ways to describe the data other than the biggest and the smallest number. We want to talk about how spread out the data is and where most of the numbers are. So the way we're going to do that, if I were to do this with a picture, is let's say I have 7 values. Long ago I learned about the two extremes such as the least and the greatest. So I already have those ways of describing the data. The least of the data is on the left, and the right of the data, if we order them, is on the right. But I want to have more ways to describe the data, such as the middle number, which we call the median. So after we order data from least to greatest, the number in the middle is the median. And the reason it's the median is because it cuts the data into two chunks. One group over here and one group over here. I want a second way to describe the data, which is looking at the lower chunk. I'll do this in black so I have a different color. The middle of the lower half here is the lower quartile. And the middle of the upper chunk, or the upper group here, is the upper quartile. And the reason these are called quartiles is because this number cuts it into 1, 2, 3, 4 equal groups of 4. And so that's why they are called upper and lower quartiles. So for these examples, I'm going to do 1, you're going to do 3, I'm going to do 4, you're going to do 6. Our job is to find these measures of variation, such as the least, greatest, lower quartile, upper quartile, and median. The very first step for all of them, though, is to order them from least to greatest. So looking at number 1, I'm going to order them from least to greatest. It's 10, 12, 15, 7, 16, almost, 17, 19, and 20. I've used all my values. And now I want to identify all of those. So first, the extremes are the least and the greatest. I'll label them. That's my least, that's my greatest. Next, the median is the value in the middle, which is right here. Because if I cross one out here, cross one out there, 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 I've crossed out 3 on each side, and the middle value here is the median. Next is the lower quartile, which is the middle of the lower half of the data. That's this value 17, that's my lower quartile. And my upper quartile, which is the middle of the top half, is this value there, 19. So I've identified my least, my greatest, my median, my lower quartile, and my upper quartile. I'd like you to stop the video here and try it yourself for just problem 3. Press play when you're ready to check your answers after you have found the least, the greatest, the median, the lower quartile, and the upper quartile. Press play when you're ready to check. Okay, you've tried this, now it's time to check. First step, again, is to order them from least to greatest. 4, 15, 17, 18, 20, 21, and 23. Next is to find these values. You can see the least and the greatest are 4 and 23. You can see the middle, or the median, is 18. And then you can see that of this lower half, the middle value is 15. That's my lower quartile. And of this upper half, the middle value is 21. That's my upper quartile. I hope you have those right. Now it's time to look at 4 and 6, which are different because there's not an odd number of data points. And that's going to mean that there's going to be some ties that we're going to have to break. I'm going to complete number 4 first. So again, my first step is to order them from least to greatest. I see 24, 42, and 44. So I still order them from least to greatest. But as you can see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 values, an even number of values. So there's going to be some ties to break after I find my least, my greatest. So first, the least and the greatest are still easy to see. Those are 24 and 44. The least is 24, the greatest is 44. Next, the median is the middle number. I cross out 1, 2, 3 there, cross out 1, 2, 3 there, and it's a tie between 35 and 37. The number that breaks that tie, that's between those two, is 36. It's equally distant from 35 to 37. So I'm going to cross those out, and my median is 36. Next, I need to find the lower quartile, which means the median of the lower half of the data. That means I cross out 35, cross out 24, and I need to break this tie between 28 and 32. The number between 28 and 32 is 30, so my lower quartile is 30. And I need to break the tie here, cross out there and there. The number that breaks the tie there, between 39 and 42, is not an even number, or not a whole number. It's 40.5. And so my upper quartile is 40.5. To be really clear here, the way that you could break the tie if you can't do it in your head is you're finding the mean, which means you need to add them up. I'll do the one I just did, 39 plus 42. 9 plus 2, 11. 4 plus 3 plus 4 is 81. And then you divide by 2. 81 divided by 2 equals 40.5. And that's how I got 40.5. Okay, now it's time for you to try as a guided practice. Please complete number 6 by finding the least, the greatest, the lower quartile, the upper quartile, and the median. Press play when you're ready to check your answer for these. Okay, in order to make some room, I deleted some of our work from before, but I want to now check our answers. In order to do that, the first thing is to round from least to greatest. I'll do that right here. That's 105, 107, 108, 112, 113, 115, 116, and 123. The least and greatest are pretty easy to see. They're 105 and 123. Least is 105, greatest is 123. The median, if I cross that 1, 2, 3 there, cross that 1, 2, 3 there, is a tie between 112 and 113. The number in between is 112 and 5/10. So that should have been your median. Next, cross those out. You have to break the tie for the lower half. The number between 107 and 108 is 107.5. That would have been your lower quartile. And break the tie between 115 and 116, because you could have crossed those out. And that is 115 and 5/10. That's the upper quartile. So at this point, you've had practice identifying the lower quartile, upper quartile, median, least and greatest value. And the reason that's invaluable is because when we create a box and whisker plot, all you're doing is graphing those 5 things. So in order to practice this, I'm going to do 3, then I'm going to ask you to do 4. So in order to create a box and whisker plot, all you need to know is what is the least, the greatest, the median, the lower quartile, and the upper quartile. Once you find those out, you're just going to graph those things to create your box and whisker plot. So again, order your values from least to greatest. I'll do that below the number line so I can build the box and whisker plot above it. Numbers are 61, 84, 86, 87, 91, 97, 98, and you know what? I forgot 96 right there. Okay, now I need to find those 5 measures variation. The least is pretty easy to see, 61. The greatest, 98. The median, the value in the middle, I'll cross out 3 there, cross out 3 there. It's a tie between 87 and 91. And I believe the number that would be between that would be 89.5. I'm going to double check. If I add 87 plus 91, it equals 178 divided by 2. Oop, my mistake. Should be a whole number, 89. And that's my median. Then I have these 4 values, and I need to find lower quartile. So the tie between 84 and 86 is broken with 85. That's my lower quartile. And then 1, 2. I have a tie between 96 and 97, which is broken with 96.5. And that's my upper quartile. After I have those 5 values, I'm ready to build my box and whisker plot. The 2 whiskers end with the least and the greatest values. So 61, which is right about here, is where my least is. 98, which is right here, is my greatest. My whole box and whisker plot is going to be between those 2 values. Next, my 89, my median, is one line that goes in the middle of where my box will go, and that's my median. My lower quartiles are the edges of the box. So one edge of the box starts at 85. One starts at 96.5, which is right about there. And there I have my box and whisker plot with this set of data. Okay, I'd like you to try number 4, which means, again, you need to find the least, the greatest, the median, the lower quartile, and the upper quartile, and then build your box and whisker plot on your paper. After you've created on your paper, then you should press play to check your answer, but stop the video here until you've done it. Okay, you tried, so now it's time to check. First step is to order the numbers from least to greatest. In order, that starts with 26, and 27, and 27, and then 32, 34, 35, another 35, 36, and then 38. I've ordered them from least to greatest. Now I need to find my least, greatest, median, lower quartile, and upper quartile. The least, 26. Greatest is 38. The median is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, cross out more. It's not a tie. The median is 34. Then the lower quartile, 1, 2, it's a tie between these 2, is 27 and 27. But what breaks the tie is also 27. That's my lower quartile. My upper quartile, it's a tie between 35 and 36, and the thing that breaks that is 35.5. And now I have the 5 things I need to create my box and whisker plot. The least value of 20, sorry, I should say 26, starts right here. That's where one whisker starts. The greatest value at 38 is right there. My whole box and whisker plot between those 2 values. Next, my lower quartile at 27 will start, next is my median, which is 34, put a line there. And then my lower quartile, which is at 27 right there. And my upper quartile, which is at 35.5. And my box and whisker plot is created. At this point, you've had a chance for trying how to find the least, greatest, median, lower quartile, and upper quartile, and then creating the box and whisker plot for that data. Now it's time for independent practice. I'd like you to create a box and whisker plot for the following data sets and answer the questions for each data set. So for this first set of data, you're then going to answer questions A through E. And for the second set of data, You're going to answer questions after J. If you do well on these 10 practice problems, you should be ready to retake objective assessment 4A.4 through 5. Good.